Hey, in today's video, I want to answer the question, where to start a bookkeeping business. So this question is one of the most important questions when it comes to your financial future, especially if you're thinking about starting a business like this, because how you start the business is really going to determine how long you stay in it, how much money you make, and really your overall enjoyment when it comes to the business. So first things first, when it comes to starting with a business, you need to learn how to train emotional endurance. So it's a mixture of emotional fortitude and emotional endurance. So emotional fortitude is so that things don't rattle you or don't shake you, but also emotional fortitude for you to be able to handle and control yourself when you are shaken. Because just starting any business, whether it's like an e-commerce business, whether it's you're starting a grocery store, whether you're going to be, a marketing agency, whatever business you're starting, things are not going to go the way that you expect them to go. And if you need to have the perfect environment for you to feel comfortable enough to do something, you're not going to make it in business. So you have to start training the ability to handle situations that are really out of control. One thing that a lot of people do to kind of like do this is they start putting themselves like in tougher and tougher situations, like in physical stuff. Like oftentimes, like you might hear like some online people, they talk about like, go do like a cold plunge or a cold shower in the morning, right? Because it's like it's teaching your body to be able to handle something that's not really used to and learn how to control your emotions during the middle of it. Same thing with like some people do like super warm yoga, where they have to go on like a mile or 5 mile run in order to like start feeling like really good for the day. You know what I mean? But it's the same thing in business. The challenge that we have when you're starting a business is that if you're used to working a job where you get paid either on like a bi-weekly basis or like a once-a-month type of basis, you've been conditioned to expect that there's a feedback loop. You put in work for X amount of time, you get in there's a consistent time with which you get paid. But in a business, you can put in 1,000,000 hours worth of work and never get paid. You could also put in 1 hour of work and get paid a lot of money, right? So it's not always the amount of money you make and the time frame with which you make the money is not always tied to the money directly in a consistent time frame. So for example, let's say that you were going to be like a movie actor. Oftentimes for movies, they create movies 2 years before they actually put the movie out in theaters, right? So that means that they're working on a project. They don't know if it's going to be successful or unsuccessful. And a lot of actors nowadays, they actually put a lot of their money based on how the movie does. So they get a percentage, whatever the movie does. So they're almost partnering with the Hollywood, what is this called, studios, and basically having a joint venture project each time. So each movie is like a new business for them, essentially. And each business is going to keep giving like a recurring revenue. But that's kind of what it looks like for a lot of these businesses. Like in a lot of businesses, like, you put in like 3 months, 6 months worth of work in the beginning, and then you start learning how to get clients. Then you start having that consistent income. And then if you can just survive like the first 3 to 6 months in your business, just not get too frustrated, you're going to hit 6 figures year after year after year after year after year. Now, I can't promise you're going to hit 7 figures. I can't promise you're going to make anything, because I'm not sitting in front of you. I don't know your work ethic, etc. But I'm just saying that once you get past those initial kind of challenging spots, then you can go and really make some money. And like it's just like it's very, very consistent. Business is very consistent. There are of course things in life like random things can happen. Like there could be another shutdown, right? There could be, I don't know, a million different things. Internet could go offline. They could never be the internet again. Different things can kind of happen. But for the most part, business is very, very consistent if you understand how to set it up very properly. So next thing when it comes to starting a business is just remembering kind of like emotional endurance. So in the beginning, it's like you have to understand that things are going to be random and chaotic. But next, while you're sitting inside that chaoticness, you have to start building up your reserves of energy. So I'll give you a good example. So I went to this thing called tree running the other day. And basically it's like you're in this, like, imagine an obstacle course that is 30 to 40 feet in the air at the beginner zone. There's like higher ones as you go higher up in difficulty. But imagine that mixed with, you'd have to do like balancing obstacles. You have to go and like do like pull yourself up to the next level. You have to go zip lining. It was more than an ocean. I'll just say that, for example. But it was almost like every single, it's like, okay, so let's say that, so you start on point A and you have to go to point B, and there's like a obstacle. So sometimes there'll be a straight board, sometimes there'll be a cross board, a different board, sometimes a piece of rope, sometimes a string. You have to like learn how to like climb through it. every obstacle is kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. How am I going to do this? You have to be so focused on it. But it's like, that's kind of what business is like. So it's like you have to focus, 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 focus. Make sure you don't die. Make sure nothing happens. Make sure nothing bad happens. Okay, then you survive. Then you take a breath. Okay, you gotta do the next thing. Then you take a deep breath. Then you do the next thing. Now, blessedly for us, it's not that much. It's just like you just gotta have like 3 main skill sets, right? You have to do your pricing correctly, your marketing correctly, and then your sales correctly. When you get these 3 things down, you can hit 6 figures in your business very consistently. If you want to get to like, 15, 20, 25 grand a month, there's a 4th thing, which is like building a team and like learning how to use automations. But anywhere between like 0 to about 11K per month, generally it's only 3 steps. So but it's all about building that emotional fortitude to not like give up when things are getting tough. Next thing is like keeping things simple. So you notice I said there's 3 main things. I always do life in terms of 3s. I always want to have like 3 ways that I get clients. I want to have 3 different services I offer. I want to have 3 different businesses. You know what I mean? Because one of them can go down. Like one thing always will go down in life. Like I'm just letting you know, I'm not speaking to existence over your life. I'm just saying one thing always goes down. If you have 2, okay, I'll feel a little bit better, right? But if I have 3, I can have 2 things go down, I'm still protected. So I'm always thinking in terms of 3s, right? So in this case, all you have to do to make this business work, book a call. That means like get a consultation call scheduled. Close the calls. That means get on the consultation call and close them, and then just do the client work. That's the only 3 things you need to focus on. Okay, you don't need to worry about getting a website. You don't need to worry about your LLC. You don't need to worry. Like once you start getting clients, then you can do those. But in the beginning, just book calls, close calls, do client work. That's only 3 things you need to do, right? Keep it as simple as possible. The challenge that I see a lot of people have is like most people like are very thoughtful people. So we think things, we think again and again and again until like we see all the different holes, and then we start doing stuff. But it's like you can't overthink things in this game, especially when it comes to the internet, because the internet is really just about being able to disperse a message. If you get enough people to know you exist, to own a business, you will naturally have $10,000 a month. Like naturally, like it's inevitable for you to have it. Like now there are some ways you can speed it up, right? That's why having like a mentorship program, like if you want to see our mentorship program, like click the link inside the description, by the way. But a mentorship program like will speed up the progress. But if you just want to make progress, like you can literally just set a timer for like maybe 5 years, get like 10,000 people to connect with you on LinkedIn over the next 5 years. You'll be at $10,000 a month. Now I don't know if that's gonna be like in day 2 or it's gonna be like in day whatever. What's 500 times 360? If that's like day like 1700 days into this, you know what I mean? So it just kind of depends. Wait, what? 1700? No, that'd be times 5. Yeah, 1700, 1800 days. Yeah, so I mean, you can definitely do that. It's just like how much time you want to take, you know? Do you want to be making 6 figures a year from like year number 1, or do you want to be making 6 figures per year at year number 5? That's a really big thing. And then to drive this point home, there's like this like stock market kind of like not frenzy going on, but it's like this like craze. This guy, his name is like Roaring Kitty. And in 2021, he like kind of created this movement called like meme stocks, where they pick a company and they just like shoot it up to the sky. So it was like GameStop. And he basically started with about $53,000 in the bank, and he turned that into, I believe, a couple $100 million. I think it was like $200 million in the span of like 3 to 6 months. Okay. And he takes like 3 years off. I personally think he just took it off just to like kind of rest and recuperate. Like going from 53,000 to 200 million, that probably does a huge amount of mental strain on you. And plus he was on the news. Plus he had to go to like court to kind of talk about like, you know, what he did was it illegal or not. So that takes a lot out of you, I think. And like not just I think, I know, like if running a 6-figure business can take as much what it does, I cannot imagine running or making $200 million. That's not counting. That's not like a business. He received $200 million into his account. That's crazy to me. Now he came back recently, so 3 years after this initial frenzy, and he basically is doing something similar. But this time, if the stock stays above $21 by I think it's like the next like 5 or 6 days, he will turn. He basically he made I think he made like 290 million. He like pocketed like 40 million and put like 250 back in this time around. So he put 250 million inside. If it stays at 21, right now I think it's at like 29 to like $30. I don't want to be misquoted. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not saying to go and like invest all your money inside of the stock market. Please don't take that into like what I am. round trip. Sorry, I got a weird text. Fat-free body weight subkins. Huh. Okay. GME stock. I don't want to misquote it. So it's at $28. So if he can just keep it there, guys. Just keep it there. He is going to make bank. He's gonna make almost $1 billion before taxes. All I have to say is, while we're overthinking and thinking about how hard a business is and all these different things, some guy in his basement with a webcam and a headband made $1 billion in 3 years. And we're wondering, can we start a business? You definitely can. It's just you just gotta be simpler. Like that's the main thing that I'm constantly reminded of. People always have like this joke. There was an E-Trade commercial, like somebody stupid, the stupidest guy in your high school just bought a yacht. Making money is not about being smarter. It's about being in the game and moving forward and doing it imperfectly. That is the key things. That's all this stuff is. That's all you gotta do. Just be in the game, do the stuff long enough, do the right things, get help when you need it, get help before you think you need it. Like I would highly suggest investing in a mentorship program. Shameless plug. But I would highly invest that so you can just be in the game and do things right, okay? That's all you gotta do. Just do the right things, be in the game. You got this. You can do this. I'm rooting for you. I'm watching your success, you know? I see you in the comments section, and that's why I'm here for making these videos. I want you to succeed. I want you to be able to go and reach your goals, right? I never want to be a person where it's like, I just like got what I wanted to get in life and then just never told anybody, never helped anybody out. Even before I had money, like I was always like having people like ask me like when I was doing like e-commerce stuff and like I wasn't very successful. People always ask like, how'd you get into that? Like what were you doing? And, like I would like have them come over to my house and I'd literally show them like how I was doing the e-commerce stuff, and I was making like, I think at first I was making like $1,000, $2,000 a month. It wasn't much to kind of like write home about, but you know, with the information I had, I shared it openly because I wanted to make friends. I wanted to have people helpful. I wanted everyone to succeed. I never wanted to just be like, you know, the billionaire that just kind of disappears off into the sunset, never makes any money. I wanted to be able to share it with people so other people can do it, because I had to watch like my parents when they were growing up. Like they were working like jobs, like they didn't like the job, but they didn't really have any other choices back then, right? But nowadays you have that choice. So you kind of owe it to your parents, your grandparents, the people before them who didn't have this like opportunity. You owe it to them to be able to go and find the success, to live life in your own terms, right? And really set your children up to not have to go get a job. They can go and run a business as well, right? When they're older and when they're ready to do it. Or if they don't want to run a business, at least they have the option, or at least they have like the head start, the connections, the funds, the money, the things set aside for them, right? If you want to start building that legacy, if you want to start building that success, go ahead and click the link inside the description, book the call. Let's see if we can help you inside our mentorship program, okay? I want to see if I can help you, because I can't help every single person on the platform. From a capacity standpoint, I can't help everyone, but also I want to make sure on this call that if you are in a place to where you really want this to work, it's just you need to have like the skill sets, a roadmap, and just know what you need to know so you can avoid a lot of mistakes, then I just want to talk to you and see if it's a good fit, okay? If it is a good fit, I'm going to like make a pretty compelling case into like, hey, I think this is what's going to work for you, this will work for this, will work for you, this is the time frame with which I think you're going to get these results. And then if you feel like, hey, this is something I want to do, we can get started inside the program, we can go off to the races towards your goals. Okay, so if that's you, I'd love to see you on the call. If you're not quite ready, that's A-okay too. I will see you inside of the next video, okay? Take it easy. Talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day.